What's going on, Exiles? Moose here, and I wanted to show you guys the build I've been playing in Path of Exile's new Ascendancy League Hardcore Perandus. I made this build specifically for Hardcore League. If you're playing a Softcore League, I would suggest checking out the two-hand Earthquake build that Etup used on his stream. This is basically just a much tankier version of two-hand Earthquake that sacrifices a bit of AoE for the boost in survivability through block and some extra armor. If you have trouble getting past a certain level, or you just want something that's tankier than the majority of builds, I definitely recommend checking this out. I've cleared up to tier 13 maps so far, and I've probably put under 2 exalts into the build. I started out in maps with, I would say, probably 20 chaos or 10 chaos in the build, and it was really strong for what it was. Alright, gonna go ahead with the items now. The recommended uniques for this build are Belly of the Beast first off. I didn't get this until after maps. I think I, wow. I think I survived on a 5-link rare, and it was a garbage 5-link rare. This was at the very beginning of the league, until I could afford this. If you can afford this, by the time you get to maps, I would get it, just because it'll give you quite a bit of HP, like 500 to 800 maybe. But yeah, definitely recommend getting this. Metronor's Girdle, I would get this as soon as possible, just because, number one, it's cheap as hell. I think it's like 1 or 2 chaos on Perandus Hardcore. The Flask recovery is huge. 10% life obviously is amazing, and you'll get a big chunk of damage from it, from the Flat Fizz, so definitely pick this up ASAP. Remy's Concoction, I didn't get this until after I got to maps, just because they were insanely expensive at the beginning of the league, like they always are. But if you can afford this, I would get it as soon as possible. It'll help you hit that block cap or get close. It'll just increase your survivability so much. And since we took Unwavering, we won't get stunned during blocks, so it's just a synchronization, I guess, with this Flask. But it's just so good. It'll just increase your survivability. And then Lionized Remorse, I would pick this up as soon as you get the minimum level for it. I think it's 70, but it will give you so much armor that it's just stupid not to pick it up. I mean, any comparable rare shield I don't think is worth it compared to this. Between the projectile reduction and the life you get from it, it's just huge on top of the block and armor. Definitely pick that up ASAP. I think they end up getting to like 2 to 3 chaos as the league goes on, so it's very, very affordable. I mean, all these items outside of the 5-link belly, I mean, this should be around an exalt. You can sit on a rare chest piece until you can afford this, and the rest of the items are pretty much nothing. It's just rare. Like, I wouldn't even call them best in slot really, just because they're like life res and some other stat, but they're just rare amulet, rare rings. My mace is pretty decent, but I paid like 4 chaos for it. It's a 260 DPS one hand. Doryani's Catalyst I think is an upgrade over this, mainly just because of the elemental damage you get from it. And if you do end up getting Doryani's Catalyst, I would swap out these gem links. Since you get an elemental damage boost, I think Earthquake melee fizz damage, Fizz to lightning, added fire, and weapon elemental damage is probably better, just because you'll get a shit ton of Ellie from it, and Doryani's will just scale that. But these are the links I have right now. It's Earthquake, melee fizz, conk effect, increased AoE, less duration. You can mess around with increased AoE and conk effect. I really recommend conk effect because you get such a huge boost in damage from it, and increased AoE just helps you offset that loss basically in AoE. Added fire I would probably get for my 6th link on this. For my helm, I have the Leap Slam 4 link. So it's Leap Slam, Fortify, faster attacks, endurance, charge on melee stun. This basically just allows you to generate an endurance charge and get Fortify anytime you leap on somebody, and obviously faster attacks, so you can do it faster. Herald of Ash, Hatred, and Enduring Cry on my shield. These aren't any particular order for any reason. They're just here because they couldn't go elsewhere. On my boots, I've got Vol, Molten Shell, cast 1 damage taken, which, by the way, that does not trigger Vol, Molten Shell. I've just got it there because it couldn't really go anywhere else. Cast 1 damage taken, Warlord's Mark, and Blood Rage. These are the 2 that are going to be triggered by CWDT. So I'll cast an aura and... not an aura, cast a curse and get Blood Rage. Ancestral Protector, Multi-Strike, Fortify, and Melee Fizz. This is my boss setup, so anytime I get to a boss, I'll just cast a totem near them. And it basically gives me a large boost in damage. I put Fortify on the totem because they started dying really fast after a while, even at high levels, so Fortify made it last quite a bit longer, and it didn't really provide that much extra damage. It mainly just gave me attack speed. So, and that's it for the links. The 2 R's are obviously Herald of Ash and Hatred, and you can swap out. Since I only have a 5 link, what I would do is if I wanted to use Determination, I would just pop out Added Fire and use Determination. You can actually, it's like a good boss. Maybe if you get to like Merc Malachi or something and you just make sure, like you want to make sure you don't die basically, you can pop on Determination instead of Hatred. You'll lose quite a bit of damage, but typically on a boss like that, it's more about not dying. So you end up with 22k armor as opposed to 14k, so it helps a lot. That's it for the... oh, actually, you know what? I'll do potions. I've got Seething, Divine of Grounding, Catalyzed, Eternal of Staunching, just a regular Quicksilver, Roomies obviously, and then the Avengers of Warding Mana Pot. If you can get some Mana Leech on your build, I highly recommend it because you can drop this Mana Pot and use like a Taste of Hate. I would normally not do that because I almost have to have a Quicksilver. You can get by without it just because Leap Slam is pretty good, but I prefer having a Quicksilver. I think the Taste of Hate is extremely valuable for this build just because it'll make you that much more like immune to Fizz almost. I mean, you're already a freaking beast at this point, but Taste of Hate will make you that much tankier, so definitely try to get that. Alright guys, I'm going to try to do the skill tree pretty quick since the item section was pretty long, but so pretty much for the passive tree, I start off, I get this circle right here, and don't forget the melee damage and life. From there, I would go through here, up through here, get Juggernaut, get Barbarism, and then go up and get RT, get these damage nodes right here. I would go up, after that get Indomitable, Tireless, this damage node, and then you could probably go up and get Retribution and Devotion. Catalyze the Endurance Charge if you want it. I typically would leave the shield nodes alone because you don't, I mean, unless you really want the block. I don't worry about block until roughly maps. Come down here, get Unwavering, get this health cluster right here, get these damage nodes, come over, get Golem's Blood, Master of the Arena, Art of the Gladiator, and then from there I would get Endurance Charges and just anything that you missed. I picked up this Int node because I needed it to level some gems. You can get it, or you know, don't if you don't want to. For the last part of the tree, you should get that Jewel Socket, and I would probably pick up Rampart as well as the rest of these. Let's see, that's 5, that's 10. You might not be able to get all that. I would either get, you can honestly pick. If you want the block, get that. I would definitely get those because you get more damage. 2 Jewel Sockets and Fortify, or I mean, and Rampart. If you don't want Rampart, you know, get the other stuff. It's really up to you. It's all good. And if you, like right now, I think I'm barely capping on block. If you don't cap block, you definitely want to get these. If you do cap block, then don't get them. I mean, that's common sense. And yeah. Oh yeah, for the Ascendancy, I got Juggernaut, Unflinching, for the maximum endurance charge, Unrelenting, which is extremely OP. I think it's one of the most OP skills in the Ascendancy tree, and Unyielding. You can swap out Unyielding for Unstoppable if you prefer to be immune to like slows and stuff, but I just wanted the regeneration and damage. And that's it, guys. Post in my comments if you have any questions, and yeah, hope you like the build.